Great, okay, welcome everybody to the April 24th special meeting of the town board to consider the broadband MOU, and I'll start the meeting with pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so without further ado, this is a special meeting to consider this resolution. I will offer a resolution to approve the intermunicipal agreement between the towns of Dryden and Caroline for collaborative implementation of a municipally owned broadband infrastructure and service. I'll second. Seconded by Tim. And I won't read, I will read the whereas the Caroline Town Board wishes to formalize the town's working relationship with the town of Dryden for sharing services pursuant to the New York State Municipal Infrastructure Program, for which we've submitted a grant proposal. Therefore, be it resolved, the Caroline Town Board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to sign the following intermunicipal agreement with the town of Dryden. And so just it summarizes the kinds of things that will be sharing services and how that will be divided up, but the expenditures will be authorized by the town board at a later date as is required. So I will open it up if anybody has questions or comments before we vote.
I guess the only question that I have marked, looking at this again, is number 3. Well, unless otherwise agreed, provide service only to those customers within their respective jurisdictions. I mean, does that preclude us? Will that preclude us from, let's say, in a given circumstance, let's say there's a certain road or something like that, where it might make more sense, say, for Dryden to provide that service, to do shared services, in other words?
Yeah, so Dryden will be responsible for the cost associated with those customers. And
What I'm asking is whether we'll be able to do shared services, given that clause, like we do with the highway and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where, you hear what I'm saying?
I think they'd be,
I guess it says unless otherwise agreed, so
Yeah.
that takes care of it,
town
okay,
will-
right, okay.
yeah, unless otherwise
Yeah,
agreed,
yeah.
right, so there's flexibility.
Just looking at all costs for being paranoid, proactively paranoid.
well, I mean, yeah, so
Looks good to me.
Yeah, it seems really straightforward.
hey,
Sure, I thought it seemed straightforward.
okay. It was modeled after the recent MOU that you saw for the trail.
Yeah.
So, and I did run it by Guy Crow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think?
He said he approves it.
And Jason feels good about it?
Yeah, Jason wrote it.
Okay, there you go.
And we modified it. He wrote it, we modified it, and
Okay,
that's what we're putting forward. So it's been written by an attorney and reviewed by an attorney.
There's been talk about what if it just doesn't work?
So so we'll get the grant. If we get the grant, we will implement the terms of the grant proposal, you know, we'll put in the infrastructure, so. This really was to formalize
Yeah.
the implied
Agreement?
arrangement in the grant proposal.
Yeah.
So the,
I'm just a little anxious about, I mean, this is a huge undertaking and a huge responsibility, but I think it's something that's needed.
Great.
So I just, you know, I'm just,
yeah, we've already authorized and submitted the grant proposal.
Yeah.
So this is a
Yeah.
follow-up from the state to say, hey, can you,
yeah, no, yes, I understand. I just,
great. And we will, I don't want to sideline the discussion now, but we have more decisions to make down the line as things unfold, so.
yeah,
Great, shall I call for a vote? Like. Are you ready, Michelle? Okay. Hearing nothing further, I will call for a vote, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that's unanimous, Velvet. Thank
Got
you.
it.
And I did want to add one procedural resolution to formalize Brian Butner's terms. We did already authorize him as the interim Caroline Code Enforcement Officer. And
Zoning and code enforcement officer.
what's that?
Zoning and code enforcement
Yeah.
officer.
That's his title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so the terms we agreed upon were is $50 an hour plus mileage. And,
at the federal rate, the standard 25 cents a mile or whatever it is.
well, the IRS.
Yeah,
rate.
yeah, the IRS.
Yeah, it's more than that now. I think.
Okay.
I can't remember, I think it's like 60 something.
I think it might be 72. 72.
Okay, I know I'm a little off.
You're in a time where,
But whatever,
Yeah,
I'm looking at, they can look it up.
No, but I mean, it's at the,
And he's not charging us for mileage to and fro,
to and from work.
which he could have asked for quite
For
easily.
for inspections from the town hall.
Yeah.
So with that, Velvet, I will offer a resolution to authorize the employment terms for Brian Butner at $50 an hour plus mileage as detailed in Mr. Butner's employment letter. So. And any questions about that? And that's pretty much it.
Need a second?
I needed a second by Tim. I should have asked for a second before we started discussing.
well, and does he have any, time limits? I mean, I remember something from the last meeting about, as long as we were actively.
He's willing to help us as long as we're looking for a code officer. So he's,
But there wasn't, or no more than 6 months.
he didn't specify a time limit, but we will respect his desire.
There's another procedural thing no, we ought to vote on.
I'll just say that he's already in place. And he's already in place and we're already seeing the results
Mhm.
of him being in place. He's actively in place, so we're very fortunate. So we literally have not lost a day of coverage in the code office.
And he is a licensed code and zoning officer by the state. It's already.
He's done his trainings and is
Yeah.
certified, yeah. He worked for us before.
Yeah, but I know there was. Just. Asking the obvious, I guess.
Good.
Mark, can I suggest that we might want to get a copy of his license for his HR file?
Sure. That's fine.
Okay, just to have it clear for anything that comes down the line for an audit or whatever.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good, Velvet. Shall I bring it to a vote? Okay. So did you get all the language you need for that resolution, Velvet?
Yeah, we'll tweak it tomorrow.
Okay. So, add in Mark Whitmer in there? No, no.
Then we can
So,
review it on Friday.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so that's unanimous, Velvet.
Okay.
Great.
So the thing I wanted to bring up, I thought we used to have a rule that we didn't vote on a resolution the same meeting it was brought up.
We,
Unless there is something like this that's very time.
yeah, so this is time sensitive, I think.
Yeah.
I think time, Brian's is time sensitive, he's in the office now.
Yeah.
So, but I agree, right, yeah,
Because I requested tabling of the bike trail resolution at the last meeting, and, I got, that we wanted to move it along. And I went along with it, but I really.
that one was put forward
But,
for the meeting, that was advertised and put forward for the meeting.
no, but it was bought up at,
Well, no, so.
I mean, we've been talking about it for quite a
No,
while.
so our standing policy is that resolutions are presented, published for the meeting. We add resolutions between a
Yes.
prior meeting and a subsequent meeting.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yes, but I guess I thought it was when it was presented at the meeting, not necessarily just published out. But, we had
So
we had a public hearing,
correction,
okay,
so we authorized a resolution, established a public hearing
Yeah.
for the trail resolution and published that for the public hearing. So that was, that's the way.
or maybe I need to,
And I don't think we should, rehash things like that, but I mean,
no, and I'm not, but just going forward, I feel to have a public hearing and vote on it at that same meeting, I think I would like to see us having time to reflect and research and think about, because we had we had that direct public input, and it was significant. I don't know, I just felt when we have a public hearing along with a resolution, that I don't like the voting on it at the same meeting.
okay,
Well, I mean, I'll just say that we've done this ever since I've been on the board, and my feeling about this is if information had come up in the public hearing that had required alterations of the conditions of that MOU, then it would make sense to deliberate those alterations, make changes.
right.
And either have a public hearing or publish it again or whatever, but from my perspective, nothing came up in that public hearing that would have altered the conditions of that MOU, so there was no reason not to proceed.
So I would say, I mean, we are actually violating this principle right now by discussing this at a meeting about something else that but, I mean, I think, so I will just say, my own feeling is after a public hearing, it depends on the circumstances and what you learn. I felt like everything that was brought forward was addressed in the MOU and the easement agreement. As far as, things I heard were costs, trash, privacy. And so I feel good about that. Okay,
A lot of what I heard brought up was about the design, well, whether there should be a trail or not. But also about the design of the trail, which will be in the future, the actual, design of it. And so it wasn't specific to what we were looking at. So some of the, not all of it, but quite a lot of the discussion. Also, I felt that a lot of the questions had been addressed. You know, and that information has been on the town board website for a long time. So,
I wanna offer a course correction here.
Okay.
So
Okay,
you're suggesting that we wanna have a discussion about our public hearing process. I think if we wanna do that, we should put it on the next meeting
Yeah.
agenda.
okay,
So if you would like to do that, that would be,
yeah, I guess I just wanted to spit out what was on my
Yeah.
mind,
so,
so.
before we leave, I mean, tonight's topic was broadband.
Yeah.
So, the broadband landscape is, actively, it's active, it's super active, so, at the last meeting, I discussed with you, about how or whether we would be included in the county grant, and what I heard from everybody was that, that would be fine as long as we were identified as the ISP, right? And I did convey that to Dan Klein. So anyway, I think do people have any more thoughts based on information I've shared since then, or I guess by next week, we need to let the county know whether we're gonna be included in the county grant or not.
can we run that by Hunt's Engineering to see
Yeah, I
if
think
they
that's-
feel that we are the IFP for those specific addresses? Does that negate the money that we could get from the state or the USDA for the whole area? I'm really concerned about that.
Mhm.
So. It's like.
I think we meet with Ryan tomorrow,
Mhm.
maybe we can get more information, kind of flesh this out.
Has the state, see what I'm unclear about, has the county submitted their grant yet? They haven't,
Yes.
right?
No, it's gonna be next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be next week, so
So the document that we got, is that,
that was at the last legislature meeting.
but how does that relate to what I didn't understand is how that relates to the
To their grant application.
grant application.
My understanding at the time was that was to authorize the start of engineering work. And that's right, it was. And I talked to Katie today and she said that Point Broadband is now doing that engineering work.
So some of the specifics in their resolution then aren't that crucial at this moment.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and I'm more sanguine about it.
Okay.
Because what happened in the resolution is we basically got forgotten about. In the language of the resolution, Dryden was there, we weren't. In at least two clauses, when we should have been there also.
When I spoke to Katie, she said that, well, that's not what the resolution says, but that it was implied that Caroline was included with Dryden because we're doing this partnership, but anyway,
It's not written that, it's not.
it's not written that way, so yeah,
This is Katie Rogella.
mhm,
So they should amend it.
yeah, okay.
I think so too, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, that's all for now, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
If
all I can
that's,
do,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to keep thinking about this a little while.
Yeah.
We will know very soon, maybe in the next few days, well, I don't know, because I don't know,
We got-
it'll be a week
Yeah.
before we know
yeah,
about the Connect all.
Did they want other information as well?
We got it
Connect
all,
all of us?
we got, like our financial documents, we'd already uploaded them, so I don't know, but they're.
Okay. I was wondering what else they were looking for that.
Yeah, yeah, just. Honestly, several things were things that Ryan said he had uploaded for the application, so,
Okay.
So yeah,
So do it again.
most of the things they needed were on Ryan or the Dryden working group
Okay.
to clarify, so we're all done, we've got ours, so. Anyway, okay,
Could the grant come back with conditions?
I guess, I
I
don't know,
I
I think that's very possible. Or they could say, we'll give you this much and you can do this much or something, I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, we got one step. at a
I think
time.
grants come back like that all the time.
I would like to present the board with my questions about broadband, because that's what this meeting is about. And when I made statements a while
Okay.
ago, I said, I want answers.
Okay.
These are what I want answers for. I want to know financials. Because I've done my research the best I could, and the questions that were answered to me don't make sense financially. It shows to me that there's gonna be a negative cash flow for the town from my research, but not all questions were answered to me directly because I'm not an official, and some of them are trade secrets evidently that they didn't want to share with me. But
But who didn't want to share?
I've talked with two people in the broadband industry. One of them is an owner of a broadband.
Okay, so anyway, so
But I have questions.
all I can tell you, Matt, is we made the feasibility study public and there was a presentation by Ryan. Okay?
Yeah,
There was a presentation by Ryan
That's
in the
right.
fall that we also made public,
Yeah.
so those
but
are your
there are
answers.
things that are not in here that were brought up to me by these other individuals.
Okay,
That aren't covered in this study. And I've read through this half a dozen times and asked many questions. There are fees and stuff that are in there that just aren't listed. And those will catch you, especially when you're dealing with NICEAG. And another one
Is
is
that listed, are those listed in the document?
they're all listed in there along with photos.
That will be helpful and we will take that under consideration.
Great.
There's photos of trees that need to be trimmed, where these lines will be going. And nobody will own up to who's responsible for having that done and paying for it.
Yep.
So,
okay, thanks, Matt.
The broadband meetings that Dryden is having
mhm,
are open to the public. And you can hear them talk about how they're setting things up and hooking houses up and dealing with the poles and dealing with trees and all kinds of things like that. And you can find out how it's working.
yeah,
It's it's on their website and you just click and it opens up into the Zoom world.
well, yeah, that's a world that I'm under.
Well, it's actually been very interesting for me to hear them, get blocked at times, figure a way how to make it work. and-
So anyway, these are
Okay.
what I want to hear from this board of this is how it's handled. We've got two lines hanging into the field over here that's been there 4 weeks and nobody's fixed it. And between Spectrum and phone company and whoever else's they are, there they sit. I mean,
Okay.
these are questions, those are why I come down is to give these to you guys. So that, and they're gonna be posted on the Hearts of Caroline website for everybody to see, so they know what I'm asking.
Okay, thanks,
Have
Matt.
a good evening.
Thanks for your engagement, yep. Okay, so are we?
Have you talked with any other municipalities that have their own broadband? Just as,
No, there aren't that many. I mean, Dryden's the one doing, it, so yes, I have.
but I mean, that has one that up and running and going, how it's.
Dryden's is up and running and going and getting,
Not full bill.
not full,
They're,
but it's.
they're enrolling customers.
They are.
They are,
Yes,
okay.
yes. We're,
So, and I will let you know that, one of their, I think he's a consultant, but one of the experts working with, Rich Frank, anyway, he came, to evaluate, town hall and, Sladeville for a place for a pot, which is just a little utility closet. And it took about 7 minutes. By the time I got here a little late, he and Greg were over there and found a perfect closet, it has backup generation, it has all the things that you were looking for.
Yeah,
Right, Sladeville Fire,
Right.
so he did identify, and it looks, Sladeville's happy to do it.
That'd be great.
So that looks really good. In reference to some of Matt's questions, he also evaluated the polls here, and there's our responsibilities that will fall on us as the provider and associated with the poll applications. And so, and that's,
And we've started some of the poll
that's
applications.
just an
We-
expense.
Right, we told Hans to go ahead and get the poll applications going, didn't we? Because he said it would take a while
Yeah.
and for us to get stuff done by the fall.
yeah,
We
and all
need to
that
start
work
now.
could be subbed out, right?
I'm just saying that this is,
Yeah.
this has been
Yeah.
thought about, this has been
Yeah.
worked through.
Yeah.
We can see how it's been worked through in Dryden and how they're working through, and actually we can
Mhm.
learn from their approach and how we might want to change it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Going forward.
So we are in a position to benefit from the knowledge that Dryden has gained
Yeah.
from doing theirs. And I just think, I have my fingers crossed for this MIP application. It'd be a really good thing for the town.
Yes, I mean, definitely,
It'd be a pretty amazing thing for the town.
yeah.
Um,
We could build a data center in Caroline Center,
Put a what?
data center.
Data center, yeah. We'll all be data centers, so. Anything else? Great, so for next meeting, so then I have,
We could
You-
like,
are we gonna discuss our policy about public hearings? Or are we set on that?
I don't know, maybe I just needed to blow off my steam about it.
Okay,
That's that, or not steam, just,
share your thoughts.
yeah.
So
It's better.
we don't need to make it a bullet item or what? Okay.
No,
We can
I
talk
get it.
privately too, so.
yeah, I just-
Great, thank you. I do wanna put forward for the agenda, if agreed, I wanna formalize the appointment of the ZBA, the 3 members. And then, I was wondering if we want to, consider a resolution on the flag policy.
yes.
Yes,
It's unanimous. Does anybody want to draft that? Or I will?
We're just gonna suspend flag policy for the rest of 2024. I thought was what I remembered.
It's whatever you want to do. I would favor a stronger,
rescind the flag policy.
I would just rescind it. I mean,
Except for,
anybody, any board could put it back in place, but my sense from discussing it is that we have problems with it.
it'll be the American flag, anything else. Well, we got the veterans,
But is it the POW? It's up there now.
Okay,
In Maryland, we have
so
I grew up in Maryland, right? So we have the American flag and the state flag. That's it.
I think we should just leave things as they were.
I don't think we should change it, but I think rescinding it's a good idea.
You think what?
I think rescinding it
Is
is a good idea, because I think any flag you put up there is gonna cause, problems.
It's just too arbitrary. Just too arbitrary,
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Okay.
what about the planning board? Are you ready to make the?
I haven't gotten responses yet, so I'm not ready to put that forward.
okay,
Okay, so those are the 2 items I have for, and we'll look at my notes from last meeting, there might be some others.
Right.
Okay.
Are we finished for tonight?
Yes.
Great. I'll offer a motion to adjourn,
I'll second it.
seconded by Kate. And all in favor?
Okay.
Opposed? And thank you, Velvet, for clerking our meeting. We
You're
are
welcome.
finished at 7:33.
Thank you, Velvet.
You're welcome. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow, Velvet.
Mhm.
You won't see me.
Okay.